JD Vance just wrapped up his little stint in Europe, and it finished just about as poorly as it started. Now, if you don't remember, and I hope you do, JD Vance was booed ruthlessly at the Olympics because nobody anywhere in the world can stand him. And clearly that's still bothering JD, because on the tarmac, before getting on Air Force Two, he decided he would complain up a storm and attack Team USA, because why wouldn't he? But it wasn't the only mistake JD Vance made. He wasn't just questioned about Olympic athletes speaking out against him, against Trump, and the entire administration, but someone in the administration is where I want to start. JD Vance being questioned about Howard Lutnick, and the non-answer that he gave that I believe is pretty telling.
Well, I mean, I've been pretty occupied the last couple of days. I haven't seen Howard getting calls to resign. We'll follow the story a little bit more closely as I get on the plane. But, fundamentally, I think the Epstein files, what they reveal is certainly you had a lot of very wealthy and powerful people who were involved in some very disgusting behavior. But I do find it's interesting.
Oh, JD, you don't really have a committed stance now, do you? Oh, the political chameleon doesn't really want to, get himself nice and secure next to Howard Lutnick, not knowing if he's going to get the boot or not. Quite interesting. And I think this really speaks to kind of a broader plan that Vance has to protect himself as much as possible going into 2028. He's been really non-committal when it comes to the Epstein files. He hasn't spoken out much. He hasn't really defended Donald Trump privately. Even he's been telling his little podcaster buddies, well, we really got to fix this. It's a big problem. So JD is throwing Lutnick under the bus at the same time as the bus is going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth over his political corpse in Congress today. And it's where I want to jump to before we get to Team USA, causing JD Vance to just melt down.
Was the president aware of Secretary Lutnick's ties to Epstein when he chose him to lead the Department of Commerce? Was he aware?
Chris Malin was a Border Patrol agent.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude that the president, in fact, did know about his ties because he was the next-door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
You're
this
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic.
beautiful
This is
state.
pathetic, Mr.
Committee will be in order.
I am not asking trick questions here. The
You got your
American
5
people
minutes.
have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell.
I think Howard Lutnick at this point could be the first one to fall. Not because of his relationship with Epstein, not even because he lied to Trump, but I think because maybe he's done the worst job covering it up and the worst job trying to deflect. When he went before the Senate, he did just admit it all, I think because he was afraid that the press might catch him, and, it comes out that Lutnick went to the island is a lot worse than Lutnick says he went to the island. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. This administration is falling apart at the seams, and to make it much worse, JD Vance, at least, is pretty pissed off that Team USA is speaking out. Before we get to that little meltdown that he had on the tarmac, I want to see one of the athletes that clearly really drove him crazy.
I am a lawyer, as you know, and we have a constitution, and it allows us to freedom of the press and freedom of speech, protects us from unreasonable searches and seizures, and makes it that we have to, have probable cause to be pulled over. And what's happening in Minnesota is wrong. There's no shades of gray. It's clear. And I really love what's been happening there now, with people coming out, showing the love, the compassion, integrity, and respect for others that they don't know, and helping them out. And we love Minnesota for that. I want to make it clear that we are out here. We love our country. We're playing for the U.S. We're playing for Team USA. And we're playing for each other. And we're playing for our family and our friends that sacrificed so much to get here today.
I hate that we have to say things are not political. At this point, everything is political. But if a message of unity and caring for the common man upsets you or triggers you or makes you think about politics, maybe it's because your side is the bad guys. If you see Bad Bunny sing peace and love, God bless America, and you say that this is an attack on your culture or your belief set, maybe you're just a bad person. Have they not realized this? Clearly not, because JD had his own little scold for Team USA.
My advice to them would be to try to bring the country together. And when you're representing the country, you're representing Democrats and Republicans. You're there to play a sport, and you're there to represent your country and hopefully win a medal. You're not there to pop off about politics. So when Olympic athletes enter the political arena, they should expect some pushback. But most Olympic athletes, whatever their politics, are doing.
Oh, yes, JD. Athletes throughout history have always been quiet. They've never stood up for injustice. Jackie Robinson, well, what did that guy even do? Never heard of him. Bill Russell, did he march with MLK? I don't remember that. Was that alongside Jim Brown and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? I don't remember. The U.S. Olympians for the crew team that we had that went to Germany. What did they beat the Germans and show the triumph of the American spirit? Did that happen? I don't remember. Tell me, JD, are sports completely separate from politics, you fucking goober? Bring people together is also so stupid. You are the one separating literal families and using children as bait outside of houses in Minneapolis. Your policy is family separation. You criticized Donald Trump for it back in 2017 when you thought it was the politically expedient thing to do, but now you don't care because it's all about climbing the ladder for JD Vance. Has this guy ever said anything that makes him likable? He is just such a nag and a scold. For the longest time, the right had been pretty successful in positioning progressives and liberals as and this was their language, the blue-haired, angry, scoldy, speak down at you, talk down at you, yell at you, cancel you, get mad at you, impose on you group of people. That is the right. Bad Bunny went to the Super Bowl to shake his hips and move his shoulders and tell the Americans, North and South, love each other. Peace, joy, fucking guac, Modelo. I'm just going to start naming stuff. That's fun. And the right got mad. They don't have an affirmative vision for anything. They don't have a joyful vision for anything. There's nothing to get excited about. These people just hate. It's all attack, and it's so gross. So to say that the burden is on U.S. Olympians to bring people together, I'm sure they would rather just go out and compete. That's why they're there. Do you not understand that they don't want to be talking about politics? Have any of these athletes said, guys, I have trained 18-hour days since I was 3 years old to be here, but I only did that not because I'm after gold, not because I'm an insatiable competitor who loves the luge or what is the thing where they fly, like the ski jump, where it's like this or whatever. I didn't work all that time to do my event. I did it because I love politics. Has anyone opened up their statement with I just been waiting to get this message out? No. They feel compelled because you're such a piece of shit. They don't want to be talking about you. They don't want you there. That's why you got booed. It wasn't just because people hate you. It's just because you don't need to be there. As we always say about Trump derangement syndrome, the derangement isn't that the left is always thinking about Donald Trump. It's that he imposes himself on every part of our life. We want you to go away. The derangement is that you think you always need to exist in every space. We do not want you there. Please have your halftime show that nobody watches. We don't care. We will be happier without you involved. We are actually trying to unite people. You don't care, JD. So do not talk down to me. Do not talk down to us. Do not talk down to our Olympians. Nobody wants to hear from you. Nobody. Especially as Pam Bondi humiliates herself for the world to see today. Truly an embarrassing experience. Jamie Raskin, Congressman Raskin, call him Raskin. I love the guy. We're close enough. It's fine. I think really put on the show of what ripping Pam Bondi to shreds look like. You want to be proud to be an American? Listen to the congressman.
You're not showing a lot of interest in the victims, Madam Attorney General. Whether it's Epstein's human trafficking ring or the homicidal governmental violence against citizens in Minneapolis, as Attorney General, you're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victims. That will be your legacy unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice. You've been ordered by subpoena and by Congress to turn over 6 million documents, photographs, and videos in the Epstein files, but you've turned over only 3 million. You say you're not turning over the other 3 million because they're somehow duplicative, but we know that there are actual memos of victim statements in there, And you also took down the Department of Justice's prosecution memo from 2019. So it's clearly not all duplicative, but even if it were, why not release it? Just release all the duplicative stuff. In the half you did produce, you redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. Even worse, you shockingly failed to redact many of the victims' names, which is what you were ordered to do by Congress. Some of the victims had come forward publicly, but many had not. Many had kept their torment private, even from family and friends. But you published their names, their identities, their images on thousands of pages for the world to see. So you ignored the law, and even with over 100,000 employees at your disposal, you acted with some mixture of staggering incompetence, cold indifference, and jaded cruelty.
Pam Bondi is an embarrassment. Today has been an embarrassment. J.D. Vance has no right to speak to any Olympic athlete in any way. I don't want to hear it from him. Shut up. Seriously.